Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Non-Stop Talking with your girl here, Vivian Liu. Today I am finally filming my review for the Korean drama Crash Landing on You. I was very hesitant to record this because I am shockingly in the unpopular opinion group. Therefore, you have been warned, I am in the small minority of people who did not love this insanely popular K-drama. I'm sorry if that hurts you, please exit out now. However, if you're brave and want to hear what this girl has to say and why she didn't love your fave, well then, trek on. First, plot summary. In short, a wealthy South Korean heiress and beauty brand CEO Yoon Se accidentally paraglides into North Korea. There she crosses paths with the handsome North Korean soldier Lee Jung-hyuk. He promises to get her home, and an impossible romance between these two individuals from warring territories begins. Tossed in there, Captain G has a betrothed, the somewhat haughty yet fashionable Sodan. So that's the general plot. Now let's talk about my overall thoughts for this 16 episode dramatic rom-com, which aired from late 2019 to early 2020. In the beginning, everyone and their moms and grandmas were gushing over Crash Landing on You. So when all the episodes came out, my brother and I decided to watch it together just to check out what all the hype is about. It's literally one of the most watched Korean dramas, even surpassing Goblin and Reply 1994, which both of these dramas I love. I went into this completely blind, shockingly. I had expectations because of how much buzz it received, but honestly, I didn't really know anything about the plot. From the start, my brother and I were both kind of bored, but a few of my friends told me that it will pick up. So we continued on. Truthfully, the show does pick up, but in my opinion, not by much. I ended up going to bed while my brother continued on without me. The next day I did try to catch up, but he was too far ahead, and without my brother watching it with me, I kind of lost motivation, and I really didn't think it was as great as everyone was saying and hyping it up to be, that I was just like, do I want to continue? Do I want to continue? And a few months later, I was like, you know what? I do want to have an opinion about this because everyone has seen it. So I think I'll just push myself to finish. So a few months later, I did watch the drama in its entirety, and all in all, it was average. It was average, and I would say maybe even slightly dull. That's it for my general thoughts. Now I'm going to be heading into spoiler or potential spoiler territory. If you don't want to hear about that, you can exit out now. First things first, I am not a fan of this whole destined fated lovers trope. And what I mean is that I don't like it when the couple has met in the past but they didn't know, and that becomes the justification as to why falling in love and would make a great couple. I think Crash Landing on You, they took this and they did a fairly good job with it. It's not as bad as I have seen it in other dramas, but I personally just don't like this concept at all. I don't like the whole don't you see their love was set in motion from years ago and that's why they're meant to be. So yeah, so that's actually one of the really small and minor complaints, because a lot of dramas actually do this for some reason. The next thing I wanted to bring up was that there was never a moment while watching this that I felt like Captain D and Seti would not end up together. And because of that, in the middle, especially when they were apart, it made the drama feel kind of long. For me, in the back of my mind, I would tell myself that since they will end up together for sure, this separation plotline just needed to move faster. They just needed to reunite. Okay, yes, let's go. In most, if not all, romance movies, we all know that the main couple will get together. That's just how it goes, right, in the story world. However, because this focus was that it was a forbidden romance. I needed more like heart-wrenching moments. I needed to feel the realness of their separation and how painful it was that there was a chance, a probability of them not ending up together. But I never had those like gut-wrenching feels, and I don't think it delivered on that aspect of the emotional parts I was hoping for. And that leads me to my next part, which is something I think was like grandly missing in Crash Landing on You, is that this drama had really little stakes and urgency. And it's crazy because in Crash Landing on You we have family deceit, we have backstabbing, and so much more going on. You know, you have Seti's brother and his wife who were like doing illegal stuff and like threatening Seti's life, but there was like no real panic or anxiety. Everything was just really like smooth sailing, like no waves at all. Like I said, there was deception, family betrayal, tactical like planning, crossing borders illegally, and so much more. And there should have been more scenes of like battling of the wits, you know, and there should have been more danger. And I felt disappointed that like everything was like kind of really easily resolved. Another issue was that there were a lot of players in this game, and maybe too much players, and the game was like shortened, and like, yeah, it had no action. So that was just something else I noticed. Another thing I wanted to bring up, this is what I had thought, and I was like completely and utterly wrong. I thought the reason why Seti's mom didn't love Seti was because Seti's wasn't her biological daughter. I thought that the father like had a fling, and that's why he like brought her home and was like, okay, you're gonna raise my mistress daughter as if your own, to save face, and I thought that's why like she had so much disdain for Seti. But that wasn't the case, so I don't really understand where like all the hatred for her own daughter came from, and how it was like once she thought that the possibility of her daughter dying, she was like, I need to reconcile all this like hatred. And when I was like, where did this hatred come from in the first place, and how was it so easily, once again, easily resolved? I do want to discuss some positives of this. Like, this wasn't all bad, you know. I did say like it was like average, and two of the things that I think Crash Landing on You did really well, was that Seti and Captain Ri had really natural chemistry. Like, they carried this show on their backs with how well they like gave each other like that loving look, and how well they bantered and flirted with each other. And I think if most like the people who love this drama, I think the major reason is that they really felt the love that Captain D and Seti shared. And yeah, they were just, honestly, the two characters were really well acted, and those two professional actors and actresses, like, what veterans. And the second thing I personally think is like the best thing about Crash Landing on You is the band of North Korean soldiers. They were super funny. You really felt the brotherhood, and I just really especially love how Pyo Chi-soo acted during his like brief stay in South Korea. To me, he was like the funniest one. And I think something interesting that this show did, in maybe a political way, was how they humanize North Korea and North Koreans. Talking about like the humanizing part, we also get a great circle of North Korean neighborhood women, and we have like Sodan's mother and uncle, who were just so precious and were so funny together. Yeah, almost all the side characters were actually like comic relief characters, now that I think about it. Even though like the side characters were like really funny, I don't think it was enough to fix like the need of what was missing in the main plot for me. Yes, the main couple's love is risky, but all consuming, which is highly captivating. I understand that their love blinded and shielded them from the impossibilities, but I don't think this point was played up to its true potential. Moreover, one of my friends, Faustine, told me that like towards the end this drama gets a little bit sad. When I got to the end, I wasn't crying, and I'm a capital C crybaby. So for a show about star-crossed lovers, I was not depressed enough. Okay, so I've talked about the main couple briefly. I feel like now I need to talk about the secondary couple who everyone seems to love and will be starring in a new drama together. For me, I just felt like there wasn't enough screen time for this second couple, so that they were able to truly make me feel sympathetic to their situation. Plus the main couple just had so much like romantic chemistry that they overshadowed the second couple, who only had limited screening time. So when his last name's Gu. So when he died, I had no tears for him. But let's talk about Sodan. She is definitely like my favorite character in this, because Sodan is gorgeous and she really stole the show with her hairpins and fashion. She has a great family dynamic in this, and she has a really good like conclusion and character growth. Soldan in the end becomes the successful musician, touring the world, living her best single life after experiencing 2 heartbreaks, the second one being the love of her life. And she like went there. She went and avenged her love. Truthfully, I don't know where the music skills miraculously came from, but her art was actually really cool. I've talked so much now and I think I am going to move forward to the final episode before this review gets too long for its own good. For me, the beginning was definitely slow, then it picks up but then slows down again. However, the ending part did bring back my intrigue. I became invested in finishing it with only a few episodes left, and I think the final conclusion where like the main couple kind of replays how they first met, even though it wasn't the first time they met, it was actually really sweet. I also wanted to add that this show has such great fashion. The looks Crash Landing on You was serving, oh, so good. But I feel really terrible for like doing this to Crash Landing on You, because it wasn't bad. I can see why people love it. I mean, it was good enough for me to like finally push to the end and complete it. However, it was a really long process and I didn't find anything like extraordinary about it. Like I said before, I think it lacked stakes, it lacked urgency. It was just too much smooth sailing for a drama where there should have been more battle of wits, and it wasn't gut-wrenching enough for something about like forbidden love. So it was a little dull, and my rating, I'm sorry, it's gonna be low, but I think I'm sticking with 2 out of 5. I also want to mention that I wonder if it's because Netflix and other streaming sites, mostly Netflix, have made it more easy to access Korean dramas and other Asian dramas, that there's like this sudden boom in viewership. And then tying that into like quarantine, I have friends who've never watched a K-drama in their life loving Crash Landing on You and Itaewon Class. I'm glad that more people are consuming Asian entertainment, and that my generation and younger generations have easier access to Asian media content, which, yeah, it's pretty interesting, because I remember when I was young, it was actually really difficult to try to like watch K, J, C, HK, TW, like all like the Asian dramas that I was watching. Like, it was actually really hard to find, and now it's like so easy. I feel so old saying that back in the day when I was I want to end this with a fun fact, but I read on Asian Wiki that the cameo appearance from the good-looking actor Kim Soo-hyun, this was actually a previous role. Like, he was reprising his role of was it Donggu from the 2013 movie Secretly Greatly. I thought that was like super random, but actually like a really solid fun fact. And that's it. If you've seen Crash Landing on You, comment down below what are your thoughts. Outro time. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in my next video, whenever that is. Bye! And so their love has blinded, and I struggled with like just like the lack of what I just okay